The purpose of today's visit, Your Excellency, is twofold, basically. It is an advocacy visit, and secondly, a visit that calls for urgent intervention from the Senate President. Nigeria is in a state of siege today. Yes, you have the insurgency and the banditry and kidnapping. But if you went to Ogoni land and spoke to somebody about insurgency, he may not be very concerned. If you go to some other parts of the country and speak of kidnapping in some areas, it's not a major concern. If you go to some other areas and speak of banditry, it may not be of major concern. But when you enter the realm of drugs, drug abuse, every part of Nigeria, you can for sure say that everybody in this room knows somebody or a neighbor or a family that has affliction with drug abuse. The drug abuse scourge is actually the number one problem we are facing. It's always our kids, women, our youths, the family system. And secondly, it is behind the criminalities, which is everywhere now. Every day on the news, on the newspapers, you read of one criminality or the other. You have to be crazy or have crazy to commit some of these criminalities. And what fuels it is drug use. Even the insurgency itself, they take drugs. The bandits, they take drugs before they go into their activities. And throughout military history, we know that drugs have been used actually as a tool. At the outbreak of World War II, the 3-week campaign by Hitler over Poland, how did they achieve it in 3 weeks to bring an entire country? They gave them drugs, actually. It was issued formally, and the troops broke into Poland for 3 days, no sleeping, because they were already drugged. And this is the same thing that is happening in the country. These criminalities will not end so quickly until we face the underlying nexus between it and drugs. Unfortunately, to this point, the drug situation is not properly factored into the security architecture. We look at the other segments but forget that this is the causative area that needs to be equally attended to. Your Excellency, there are two aspects of the drug war: the drug reduction in supply and the drug reduction in demand. The supply reduction facet is the area where the NDLEA faces, interrupts and destroys the cultivation, manufacture, processing, marketing, selling, importing, exporting and use of drugs. And the demand reduction side, which must be viewed equally and which is perhaps more challenging than the other one, is where we have to face the prevention of drug use from the multitude that are not yet taking drugs, and to treat those who already are addicted.
Let me officially and formally congratulate you for your appointment as Director General and commend Mr. President for appointing you, because this appointment, to borrow the words of one of my colleagues, is a round peg in a round hole. You are fit, you are proper, you are qualified, you are tested, and we can trust you with this job. When you said you want to partner with the National Assembly, you want us to join the train of the fight against drug trafficking and addiction, you are preaching to the converted. The National Assembly members are almost on a daily interaction with our constituents, and we know the very debilitating impact of drug abuse in our various communities. And you have rightly said that almost every community in this country suffers from drug addiction. So we are very mindful of what is happening. And this agency thank you. Have you corrected your chairman, not DG? Your chairman corrected me, so please, I beg your pardon. It's chairman. I believe that this agency needs restructuring. Now that they have taken over, we should go the whole hog to restructure the entire agency, not piecemeal touches, because we need to get it right. My personal opinion is NDLEA should be in the league of EFCC, ICPC, that kind of thing. And therefore the kind of support that those two agencies I mentioned receive, you should receive something like that, in addition to many other things that you should be supported with. So the National Assembly will definitely work with you, will partner with you, and will ensure that we do our best to give you the kind of support that will enable you properly to discharge your mandate. Having said this, let me say that Nigeria as a nation, as a country, is in one way or the other a transit route for drugs. Drug peddlers pass their drugs through Nigeria, cannabis, heroin, and possibly even cocaine. I think about some weeks ago we saw the NDLEA arresting someone with cocaine. We believe that this has to stop, because the process of such activities fund terrorism, they fund banditry. You wonder how the bandits would have RPGs and this massive arms that they have. How? Definitely these are acquisitions provided by some people, some barons, not the bandits themselves. So we need to ensure that this transit role that Nigeria plays is addressed properly. And here We have to approach this through multi-sectoral efforts. The customs, the immigration service, our security agencies, and in fact, FAAN, the Federal Air Force Authority of Nigeria.
We have to involve all segments of the society, from the family itself. You know, this is where you spend most of your time, the child, followed by the school system. And we already have said, and it is already in process in the Ministry of Education, the curriculum. From primary, we have to start teaching no to drugs. We have to start teaching the children because it is widespread. And I've said it's coming. It's coming. We are going to start doing integrity drug tests across the wide spectrum of Nigeria. The details will come out soon. I only mentioned the tip of the iceberg, which is the school system. But you are going to get more details after that. The traditional institution, religious, government, National Assembly, where we all are, journalists, your good selves, everybody in Nigeria must stand up and join hands and fight drug abuse.
My name is Dr. Christabel Regan Okoye. I am the recently appointed Executive Secretary of NADROM. NADROM is National Association of Nigerian Drug Monitoring. Yeah, it's a round peg and a round hole. It's very timely, very, very timely. We've been expecting that before now. As you know, General Maruwa is a developmental agent. He's a kind of person that when he handles an institution or a state, you will see the difference within a shortest time. So his visit today has really spurred me and other people into working better in this drug abuse and trafficking in Nigeria. I've been doing so many things, especially now that I've been empowered with this position of Executive Secretary of NADROM. Now we have organized meeting of all the chairmen of drug markets and NAPMED. We are now talking to them, and we have been able to inaugurate 12-man committee from state to state that will be attached to the commissioners of police that will monitor the drugs around them, the influx of drugs and trafficking of drugs in their various states, and then report back. When they make the seizure, they report it to CP, Commissioner of Police, who then take them to NAFDAC. So the fight against drug abuse and trafficking has just begun in Nigeria. Yeah, already I'm working with Joint Committee on the Senate and the House of Representatives as an ambassador. So in all their programs, I make sure I put in something. Like before now, I've already known that he will be here, and we were able to make sure that the whole movement worked out successfully, covering about 3 states again. I am sure that before July we'll have covered the 36 states.